Sometimes the hardest thing about playing live music in a band has absolutely nothing to do with the music. And it has everything to do with the fact that you and your bandmates are not vibing right. A live band isn't just a group of people making music, it's a team. And the stronger your team is, the better your live shows will be. Welcome back to Danny Robertson Music, where we're helping you be the performer that you are meant to be. I'm Danny Robertson. Thanks for joining me again this week. As you may have guessed, we're talking about building a strong team within your live performing group. Things like building trust, creating ownership within those team members so that they care about putting together as much of a good show as you do. And then just being that professional group that works well together, has fun together, and plays well together, okay? So let's talk about this. So does building a team even matter? Think about it this way. You're performing on stage. What does your audience experience? Well, they experience things like the musical skills that you have, the way you play the music together, the public speaking portion of it. Are you talking with the crowd well? Are you creating a visually entertaining portion of your show? Are you emotionally connecting with your audience? One thing that your audience experiences, whether you like it or not, is how you and your bandmates interact with each other. Let's say that you're having a really good night and you're having fun and you're being goofy with one of the other band members on stage. You're doing some silly dance move, or you are bantering with each other from across the stage and giving each other jokes or picking fun at each other. And obviously you're having a good time on stage. The crowd that's watching you, they can see that and they can feel that. So they are going to see that you are having fun on stage, which will make them think that they are having fun with you. Now let's flip that coin around. What if you're not having a good night, or one of your other bandmates is not having a good night? Sometimes what happens is band members are visibly upset with each other from the stage, and you can see it in their faces, and they're obviously not vibing right. What do you think that same fan sees from that? They see that you're not having a good time, and therefore they're subconsciously being taught that they are not having a good time. You need to build that expectation within your team that whether you're having a great time on stage or not, you are teaching your audience, the people that are watching you, that you're having the best time of your life, because that is what makes sure that your fans are participating in your show and having a good time. And the easiest way to do that is to work to build a team that is strong together, okay? You hear about this in TVs and movies all the time, where you might hear that behind the scenes, one or two cast members just don't get along with anybody else on the show. But when the cameras are rolling, they could be best of friends. They could be playing a part where they have to interact romantically with each other. And so they learn to get past the idea that they don't actually get along with each other. When you're playing a show with bandmates, you don't always have to get along. In fact, it's probably not going to happen all the time. There will be something that gets on your nerves or somebody else's nerves, and you'll have to kind of keep playing a show together. Your audience feels when the band is unified versus when they're not. The stronger teams tend to handle challenges better. Let's say something like a bad sound, a tricky client, a personal issue between two of the musicians on stage. If you can put together a great team that handles those kinds of situations well, it's making the shows more enjoyable for everybody involved, you, your audience, and your bandmates. So now let's talk about a few key ways that you can kind of build the team and make it into this solid, strong band that works really well together in good times and in bad times. The first key is that you want to set the standards, okay? Bands that have a dedicated band leader tend to do this well, because what they do is they set things like dress code, standards for professional attitude, and working with both bandmates and clients and venues and things like that. They also do things like set some workplace rules, because when you play in a band, it is a workplace. Expectation of timing to get to events, ego-related situations and how those are handled. Doing those things creates a level of consistency. You're setting the bar at a particular level that encourages professionalism, good attitude, builds everybody's trust in the system. The band that I play with most of the time has this level of consistency. We have a template for how the gigs are supposed to go. There are certain people where their job is to handle the sound equipment. There are certain people that are always going to be the public speaking portion of the show. There are certain people that their job is to create the level of excitement and fun. There is a set time that everybody is supposed to be at a gig for a sound check. Every single gig. If you're late to the sound check, the band leader does reserve the right to dock some of your pay. It doesn't happen very often, but it has happened in the past because that is the standard that we have set. Because of this, it's actually allowed this band to expand to more and more people so that we can play more gigs on a given day, 2 or 3, even 4 bands playing at the same time in different places. We can charge more premium pricing and we can play better quality gigs because we have set some really high standards. And that has allowed us to put on a better overall show, allowing everybody to bring in their own individual talents and use those talents to make the best possible performance and the best possible product for a client that is wanting to buy a live band. The second thing you want to do is learn to build trust amongst you and your other bandmates, but you want to do that outside of playing gigs. Currently, there's about 4 of my bandmates that we've gotten into this weekly routine where on Mondays, we will go and have a pickleball game together with a group of other people. And that has become another way that we've gotten to know each other as bandmates and as friends. An old band of mine used to have these great little family gathering events. We would do barbecue days where we put some hot dogs on the grill. We also did something every year that we called Festivus. It was not necessarily a Christmas event, but it was let's get together around that time of the year and have a group meal and hang out for an evening and just enjoy time together. We'd play board games and it was just a lot of fun. So some things like that you could do like this, or, like I was talking about with the pickleball, you can do a sporting type of event. You can do a bowling night. You could go to a game of some kind. Another one that my current group did one time is we had a singer that was asked to sing a national anthem at a local sporting event, and we went as a group of about 10 of us to go support her. And we even posted on social media that we were going to support our friend and singer who just did a fantastic job. It was a lot of fun. I would recommend trying to stay away from anything that is musical because you already do that together. You get to know each other that way. And it's very easy to fall into the line of let's go to an open mic night and have fun together that way. Well, you're just going to play music again. You're going to sing songs and play an instrument. Karaoke nights are kind of the same thing. Because you're musicians and you want to find ways to get to know each other elsewhere, I would not recommend anything musical. Building that trust can lead to smoother communication and even learning to read each other's signals without ever saying anything to each other. There are certain members of the various bands that I've played with that I could just go look at them and give them kind of an unwritten cue. You learn to anticipate each other that way, and that's a very, very good thing on stage. Quick set list changes or something happens where something is not going right on stage, you can learn to anticipate each other's needs and you can learn to work better together. Key number 3 is expand your definition of your team. So what do I mean by that? Well, you have a bunch of different relationships and partners with people that are not in your performing group. For example, any venue owner, any bartender that you work with. If you work in private events, you might know some people like wedding planners or event coordinators, videographers and photographers. Even some of your clients and fans are partners for you. Your favorite client probably will tell their friends about your great group and how they should book them. These partners are your allies. So if you learn to be appreciative of them, thank them on social media, call them out during a show. One of my favorite ones that I love to do is if I know a bartender and I know that bartender makes a great drink, I will bring that up on stage and I'll say that This person makes a great drink. Go ask for this drink. They make it fantastic. And that's something that you can use to essentially advertise the venue you're playing at and make that employee feel really good about themselves because they're being called out as a great person to work with from the stage. The more you have good allies and partners and relationships within this field, the better you're both going to be. Now, the fourth key to having a great team, as far as I'm concerned, is learning to have ownership and shared responsibility. Everyone should feel invested in some way, shape, or form. Some bandmates are going to be driven by the paycheck that comes from playing the shows. Some of them will be driven by other things. And I'm one of those people. I like to feel like I can contribute to a band to make it better over time. It shouldn't just be the responsibility of the band leader to make the band great. It should be everyone in the band. There are going to be people that want to help make the show better. The group that I play with, we have currently about 30 some people that are playing in the band, and we schedule a lot of our gigs based on what is needed for the individual show. Sometimes we're hired as a 5-piece band, and sometimes we're hired as a 12-piece band. It might make sense that I'm the best keyboard player for that show, but I might not be the best keyboard player for the show that they want, the jazz cocktail hour. We have learned to kind of coordinate this in a very effective way. We use an app called the Band app, ironically, and it's free for you if you ever want to try it. It's out there. If you look up the word Band app, you can try this app. But we figured out about 2 years ago that this was a great way to get everything on a schedule, that everybody could see all the information. We could put set lists and mapping locations to every single show. We could put the details of the show, the expected pay that everyone would receive, and some details about what was going to be necessary, the timing of when we needed to be there for sound check, things like that. If anybody took any pictures or videos at the event while we were playing, we could upload it to that same app and have it later on to be used for marketing purposes. So this one app ended up putting together a lot of continuity, a lot of consistency for our group. We know where to look for the information, and it's always there for every single gig. And that was one of my contributions to the band. We have some players that really like to do social media, and some of the band members like to run sound. And so it's become those of the band members who want to participate a little bit more, there's enough responsibility to go around for those that want to take ownership. And your band can choose to do this the way you see fit. You can either assign roles to people, or people can naturally gravitate into the role that fits them the best. That shared responsibility helps prevent everybody from burning out, and you create a better show and a better product together. So for a quick recap of everything, start setting your standards. Set the minimum standards for what you and your bandmates should be in terms of your professionalism and your attitude, okay? Build your trust with your bandmates outside of playing gigs. Try to do some things that will help you get to know each other better as human beings, not just musicians. Learn to find partners and allies. Treat everyone that wants to be as part of your team. And finally, share responsibility. Make sure that everyone is taking ownership in the success of your group so that you can make it better. You can find the ways to let it grow. And what'll happen is you'll end up having more fun at your shows. You'll put on better shows. You'll start booking bigger, better gigs because people will start to see that, and you're going to have some great memories for all of it. Now, if you want to learn more and dive deeper into these kinds of topics, things like public speaking, creating music that really connects with a crowd, learning how to make that show the best it can possibly be, come check us out at Danny Robertson Music. We'd love to help you a little bit more, and there's all kinds of resources there available to you, okay? In the meantime, best of luck working on building that team, creating some great shows, and creating some great memories. Have a great next show, and we'll see you soon. Take care.